Obviously, the Gunrunnner program backfired and hasn't worked, and in fact has led to some tragic consequences and highlights the danger of what's happening in Mexico, which leads us to the border security issue. Are there parts of the border that are more secure than they were a few years ago? Yeah, and it began under the Bush administration with extensive expenditures in it. Is the border with Mexico secure? Of course it's not. You still have weapons being run across there, you have drugs, you have people being smuggled and trafficked across the border, and you have a runaway immigration problem. The border is not secure. For the president to say that is really not a serious thing for the leader of our country to say. I mean, the border with Mexico is not secure. Not only is the border not secure, but our workplaces are not secure. We don't have an electronic verification system in this country that employers are required to verify that the people that they're hiring are legally here. We have that in the Senate office. In this office, we have an electronic email, internet platform that we go on and can check the immigration status of every single person we hire. We can't do that when it comes to, why can't we require that across the economy? It's cost effective, it's efficient, it works. We need to secure the workplace and the border, both of our borders, by the way. And only after we've done that can we even begin to talk about modernizing our legal immigration system. That doesn't mean amnesty or the DREAM Act, but there are things we can do to improve our visa programs. There are things that we can do. I think the president, when he said that immigration is important for our economic future, he's right. Legal immigration is important for our economic future. And to have a legal immigration system that works, we do need to fix our broken visa programs and all of that. But you can't touch any of that stuff. You cannot touch any of that stuff until you secure the border and secure the workplace through E-Verify. Well, only after you've done those two things can you move to any conversations about modernizing legal immigration. And I would just close by saying, the president is a supporter of amnesty. And the reason why I think amnesty is a bad idea is because if this country allows amnesty to pass, you will never have a legal immigration system that works. People will draw the logical conclusion that it is cheaper and better to enter illegally, because eventually they'll let you stay, than it will ever be to enter legally.
Back to the Gunrunnner program, do you think that Attorney General Holder and the president should be held personally accountable for this mistake? They authorized this.
Yeah, ultimately the buck does stop at the top in these organizations. And I think we'll have hearings and we'll have discussions here and we'll learn more about how these decisions were made to go forward on it. But the bottom line is that it is a program that hasn't worked, it's backfired, and it highlights how dangerous the region of the world that's become for us. It further highlights how dangerous the Mexican border has become. And the fact that border security is no longer simply an immigration issue. It has become a national security public safety issue in states like Arizona, California, and the like.
Pakistan, we took out bin Laden. Now it's come to light that Pakistan isn't so friendly of an ally to us. Do you think that we should hold back aid?
Well, Pakistan is a complicated place. It has an unfortunate rise of extremism. I was there in January. Its society is ripe for extremism. It's a nuclear power with a significant number of nuclear weapons and a very tense relationship with India. It has a massive presence of terrorists who live in the mountainous regions that border Afghanistan and Pakistan. It has a very powerful intelligence agency in that country that is both a friend and enemy to the United States.
So much so that they couldn't find bin Laden, right?
Well, they have a very complicated situation there. Here's the bottom line with Pakistan, and I think that our hope is that Pakistan will be our ally in the war against terror, a real ally against a war against Al-Qaeda and radical Islam. That's our hope, that we can encourage civilian and political organizations in that country that rise up and will actually take a leading role in that we can encourage an alternative through both setting an example and through help, so that there are alternatives in the economy in Pakistan, so that people run away from extremism and turn their back on radical Islam and instead embrace being part of the rest of the civilized world. That's what we could hope for Pakistan. On the other hand, we have to be very troubled by reports that they want to share, the remnants of the helicopter with China.
I think they already have.
By reports that it's just very difficult to believe that the most wanted man in the world lived in a $1 million compound that was a uniquely constructed compound in a military neighborhood on the outskirts of the capital. It's hard to believe that could have happened without some people in Pakistan knowing about it. And I think there are going to be some very difficult questions asked over the next few weeks. Ultimately, we have to be pragmatic and smart about any approach we take towards Pakistan. But suffice it to say, we have sufficient reason to be very, very unhappy with the direction that relationship has taken over the last few months.